Hi, I'm the mini painting noob, and today I'm going to just continue on with this challenge. I have 3 paints here selected by Let's Get Gaming, and I'm going to be putting them on this T-45 power armor here. This is a Brotherhood Outcast from the board game Fallout, the board game. So I'm going to be doing the Crusader skin. And you're probably thinking, where am I going to stick that? Well, we're going to put it in the crevices and creases and pipe work, a little bit of detail work. So I'm going to try and do that. It is a brown after all, so we can use it as a brown. I have already pre-mixed this, and got some super glue there, so let's put some there. I'm not expecting to need too much. I have a size 0 brush for today. Let's just get a nice point on that. So I just damp it down and then twirl it back, make sure I've got no excess water on there. Alright, so it's just you can see my palette off to the side here, just a very light dip just to get a bit of paint on there, and if we think we've got too much we can dab a little bit off, and then that just brings that back down to a nice tip again. So I'm going to start with the obvious places. So that is things like these internal componentry, sort of inside the footwells. We got too much there. I think we can pretty much blob quite a bit in here, and same for this one. So it's quite a light paint, so I'm expecting I'll need a couple of coats just to bring the colour up a bit. Now what I'm not wanting to happen is to, put too much on and then gravity drags it down over the metallics. So I just want to be careful with how much I put on now. I can always come back and put a little bit more on later. So let's go in behind the knees here. So it's still very light. It'll create some shading in these areas. Okay, we are back again with this power armor that I am painting as part of this challenge. In the last clip that you have just watched, I was applying the Crusader skin to this figure in fairly thick coats. So it came up with sort of like a leathery kind of a colour on all of the pipes and inside joints and the gloves, that kind of thing. So I painted that about a week ago, so it's been a while. So now we're going to get into a more interesting colour, and that is the blood red. And this is going to be super fun to paint on. I'm going to need quite a bit of it, I anticipate. I have pre-shaken this, so no worries there. And we're going to really lather it on. I can dip off if we think we got too much. Just a little dip there to take a little bit off. But this first bit, I think I've got quite a lot to do. And really, there you go, too late to go back now. This guy's wearing red power armor, and it's sort of that candy apple red colour is what I'm going for. I'm hoping that the metallic that I've underlaid in this is really going to make this red shine. It's going to look amazing. So in all the recesses I've done that leather, and then all of these raised metallic surfaces are going to be red. Now, I haven't revealed yet what the yellow will be for. We'll get there. I do need to be careful in some areas of this figure that are not going to be red, so I will flip over to a smaller brush when we get to those. And I'm not concerned about the base. We're going to get quite a bit of spillage in that area as well. Just want to try and make sure that I'm not getting any red onto areas that I've painted that Crusader skin. But at the same time, I kind of want this to be fairly thick because it will do all that shading for me. So I want a little bit in there, but not much. It's kind of difficult to get in these inside joins, inside areas. Right. Try and do like one leg at a time, sort of finish something and then move on to the next thing. And I just got red all over the gun. So right, rub it off. And he's got his, I don't know what it's called, front of his pants bit. Getting it on his arm as well, that's fine, his arm's going to be red. But his hand isn't. I was thinking I'd use a bigger brush for this just because we kind of want to stick a lot on, but I find it harder to control where big brushes are pointing, so if that happens too much, I'll just change. Oh, missed the front of his knee there. This is already looking cool. I'm hoping it stays bright and shiny after it's dry. Not too worried about overlaying on any of this because it's all going to be red. That's why I thought I'd use the bigger one. I think this might be a wee bit too big for this mini. Particularly in these areas where I've got overlap of colour close by. So I think I will downgrade a bit. Alright. Smaller brush and getting into these areas here where I've got some of that Crusader skin like right butted up against it. And get into these areas where it's harder to get. There we go. Still got a wee bit on it, so I just grab a little bit of water, not too much, and suck that up. Now water does reactivate Speedpaint, so too much water and that brown would come off as well. And let's get all around this area. I'm thinking smaller brushes, easier to control. we... Seeing if I'm missing anywhere. Let's come down this other side now. Smaller brushes don't hold as much paint though, so you kind of have to top them up more regularly. Guys like this, I'm like, would have been way easier if he was able to be painted before assembly. But unfortunately, board game minis come pre-assembled, so I want to go hacking this guy to pieces. I'm really out of practice with this. It's been a while. Alrighty. Arms, underneath, legs, it's looking good. Okay, so let's tackle these shoulder pad areas. So we really want to get some of that really good highlighting or shadowing going on. I don't know if I want that round bit to be a different colour yet. I'm real careful in here because that pipe runs right down under there. So, very, very careful. Make sure I get the tops of all of these bits. Alright, so that's the shoulder pad up to that round bit. Maybe just a wee bit too much on here. And then not enough in there. Alright. Next one. Oops, right over the round thing. Because it's red now. And then again, right down here, we've got that pipe. So I'm going to get down in here without touching it. Now backpack. I hadn't decided yet how much of the backpack will be red. So let's continue with the helmet. Just gonna get a smaller brush still. Teeny tiny brush. Alright. Probably not get much shading and definition if I don't put any paint on though. This is super hard. Does this get easier with time? Trying to get teeny tiny bristles where you want them to go. Needs more definition. And okay, where are we? Should probably do this off cam. I wouldn't have this thing in my way. So I'm wanting to go up to there. Depending on what colour I paint these optical bits, it probably doesn't matter too much if I go over. But I haven't decided what colour I'm painting them yet. Red by the looks of it on this one. Probably a dark colour, so that shouldn't worry too much. Okay. We're up to under the side. Getting there. Super hard to not go over the lines of this thing. And then on the front here we've got, actually let's look at a reference photo. Okay, cool. So the circle is probably a different colour. But the eyes are obviously a different colour. So I'm going to try and not get any in the eye sockets. Alright, welcome back. In this snippet I'm going to be painting some Zealot Yellow. This is the third colour from the challenge. It's just a recap of what I have done to date, as we've gone and done a blood red all over the figure. I've left some space for some details on the back so it's not too red. And I've done the Crusader skin, so he's got some like leather gloves and inside the backs of his knee pads, some piping and that kind of thing. And I've put some black detailing on his headlamps. So I'm going to do the Zealot Yellow, and a few drops there. Now this looks nice by itself, bright yellow, but it also looks really good as a metallic. Just not sure if you can see the difference there, but that yellow versus a metallic yellow. And so what I'm going to do is put some details on the gun. So what we've got is all of this metalwork framing. This is all going to have a good amount of a yellow over it, and sort of make it that sort of industrial looking, I'm hoping. So yeah, just keep going around and popping this colour in. It's almost going to go, I think, everywhere that I haven't painted already on this gun. So all the way underneath. It's going to basically give it a quick paint, and then you know, all of the gaps, and sort of maybe do some more of the detailing later. So lay this colour down, and then I might do some more highlights and other colours over top. We'll see what this looks like first though. It's going to be vary of where it pulls. It's be particularly dark in those areas where it pulls. So I'm just going to move it around a wee bit. Yeah, this is going to hopefully add that pop of colour that I'm looking for this figure. Like that gun is going to be the standout. I was thinking doing the whole thing yellow would have been too much, which is why I went in beforehand with the some of the black. Plus I think it doesn't matter if we get yellow over the black. so much, so this should be a really quick speed paint, as it were. It's definitely got some areas that are hard to get to. There's a strap here, handle, that goes right up over the hand. So it's definitely some challenging spots. It would have been really nice to pull this figure apart and get to everything and give it a good detail, but sadly, yep, not going to be able to do that. Let's get this logo thing right in there. That would have been cool to see. They would have sculpted this gun separate, and then, you know, they've attached it to the figure, and you can't see any of that behind stuff. Whoops. Not sure if it matters too much if I get yellow on this. These energy cells, but I was going to try and avoid them. Nope, too late. Cool, let's just go all over them, and it'd be way too hard to fix up that, so I will just go yellow over these as well. Make sure we get all of that shading done, and missed a spot down here. Get all that shading done, and then I'll come back in with extra colour later. This paint job is definitely more, you know, sort of slap it on compared to other sort of more delicate, detailed ones that I've been able to, well, you know, had to be more precise. This one's sort of a lot quicker. So I think that's pretty much it. See if I missed anywhere. Probably if I look between there. Nope, not seeing anything. I think I've hit it with black, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Maybe there's a glinting silver. Okay. Hit it from all the angles. Cool. Anyway, so that is a giant gold gun. Now I'm also going to do the air tanks, assuming they're air tanks. This guy has definitely blinged out his power armor. Now these I'm going to be a bit more careful. Probably won't show up too much on the red, but I don't want to risk it. try and just fill in the silver where there are gaps here. Try not to get too much crossover. And then there's a teeny weeny dot. Right. Next one. It seems to be too much paint. I've entirely lost my tip. I'm just going to wash that off. And let's move around what we've already got. A little bit of tank in there. Nice. And then there's the teeny weeny little gap. Can I make it just like threading a needle? Got it. Cool. Nice. And then I'm going to do that is it circular bit where the core goes? I don't think so, but anyway, this is going to be yellow as well. A nice amount of yellow. Okay, that to do a touch up of Crusader skin there, which is fine because I need Crusader skin for that vent thing. Okay, so just a single drop of Crusader skin should do it. I think that was too much. Okay. Yep, that's what we got. Alright, so got a little bit of hose repair to do. That's really come off there. It's not wanting to go back on. There we go. Gotcha. Alright, and then I'm going to put it in this as well. Nice thick coat. Okay, maybe not too thick. Might not dry right, so let's just take some of that back off. I'll have to come back and put a bit more on that. Have a look and see if there's anywhere else that needs it. Alrighty, I think I probably put a little bit of Crusader skin on these bits. go, sort of take that yellow sheen off. Cool. And now I'm thinking highlights for the eyes. Let's do none other than plasmatic bolt. Let's see what that looks like. Just a teeny drop of this stuff, which looks fantastic over metallic, by the way. So that's its regular colouring there, and over metallic. I think that was 2 coats as well. Alright. Let's grab a little bit of this stuff. And I just want to drop it into these eye sockets. Try not to touch that on the back there. That's 1. And 2. And if that looks cool enough, and I think that looks great, I'll do the same for this and this. Probably just a little less pulling on this one. Yep, so it's kind of got the colour but not the deep shadows like the eye sockets. Cool, alright, so I have officially put colour on every piece of this model. So I'm going to go back and just do a little bit more here. I think I rubbed some off. So we can just go through, if you put a second layer of this stuff on and it just makes it even richer. And it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to go into all the nooks and crannies again. It's just another sort of top layer onto certain areas. Like we might want this crisscrossing stuff just to have a bit extra. I was thinking there's quite a bit of detail on the top of the gun, particularly where the guy's holding it. It's in this back section here. There's a lot going on. So I don't know if I need to do something else in here, or if I just add some extra shading in here, just with the yellow, whether that'll be sufficient. And same goes with the front, so right up here. So this is where you're looking. If you're looking straight at the barrel here, I expect these probably aren't supposed to be yellow, so I might have to white over these and then do another colour. But yeah, there you have it. So this has been a challenge from Let's Get Gaming. It's been really fun. It's taken a while for me to put together, so apologies for that. But it's been a super cool challenge and really guided me in how I want this figure to look. He's a Brotherhood Outcast after all, so he's not going to be wearing standard military issue power armor. He has pimped it out. He's going into the wastes and he wants to be noticed. So he's going to be a really fun character to play in the game. So just going through those colours again, his power armor is metallic with blood red over top. He has some detail work, gloves and piping, for example, you can see there with Crusader skin. The gun is the silver metallic with Zealot yellow overlaid, and then some extra colours were used, for example in the eyes and headlamps, plasmatic bolt, and for some of the darker shadowing of the gun, such as underneath it, there was grim black. I also attempted to paint the inner core of the Gatling laser with a mix of camo cloak and Crusader skin. It was a bit light to my liking, and in the end I just painted back over it with the yellow. It's kept some of that green undertone, and it just sort of makes it differentiate. It's a different component to the rest of the gun. And on the back of the figure here we've just got some more gold work. So that's the challenge. On to the next one. Hopefully it won't be too far away. 500 subs, you reckon? See you next one.